All right. Welcome everyone for our lunar eclipse in Scorpio. Of course, it happened last night. For those of you who lived in Texas, you might have seen it. It was pretty amazing. And today I have Mercy Joy here. I've got Gwendolyn Terra, and I have Ajje and Amberlea Hartwell here as our astrology team. They're going to be sharing with you some wonderful perspectives on the energy that we're in right now. So even though the eclipse happened hours ago, last night, we are still intensely in it. And if you are someone who has a fixed sign, you probably felt it pretty intensely. I know I did. So I'm very glad to have our astrology team here. And I will be doing a transmission of light after they've all shared their wisdom. So what we're going to do first is we're just going to have some brief little intros of our team, and then we will get started with sharing some of the important things going on with the energies of this eclipse cycle we're in with Taurus and Scorpio. And so anyway, let me just introduce myself first. My name is Linda Galvan. I'm a spiritual intuitive. I'm a soul guide. I am a transformational facilitator for women. And I love doing transmissions of light on very specific astrological days, such as eclipses, new moons, and full moons, because the energy is amplified on these days, and it just brings in a whole new level of light codes. So I just like the extra boost that it gives to the transmissions. So I love doing my transmissions on these days. And of course, it's really always interesting to hear the energies that are supporting us in the spheres right now, and that are giving us signs of things to be aware of, things to open our heart to, things that we may need to be looking at. So it's always wonderful to hear what the stars have to say. And so today I'm going to begin by just having each of our panel members introduce themselves, and then we'll get further into the themes that are going on for this particular eclipse and beyond, because it doesn't end with just this eclipse that happened last night. So let's see here. Mercy, would you like to introduce yourself first?
Sure. I am Mercy Joy Morales, and I'm an astrologer here in Austin, Texas. I specialize in children's charts and doing family constellations.
Oh, wonderful. Gwendolyn, would you like to go next?
Yes, I'm Gwendolyn Terra, and I've been working with astrology for over 40 years. Most of the work I do now is in relationship with doing group and individual constellation work, not from the astrology point of view, from the group, family, and energetic systems point of view. Um, and I feel like I'm always aware of the astrology, the weather patterns we're in, because understanding the dance, really, that was my earliest learning in it, understanding the dance of how systems work and how they relate, and thinking how we all are in a dance with the sky all the time has been is my passion. And I feel like helping people really integrate that in their bodies and use that tool of awareness, and always listening, because I feel like a lot of what we're doing now is learning and listening, how we relate. And I feel like my main focus at this point is sacred relating, which astrology gives us lots of tools for. And so I love supporting people and having more conscious and creative relationships with themselves and each other, and both individually and in the group of the world that we're in. So, and I feel like constellation work, which I do, and astrology work also is very powerful in that. And I actually have to say, I have like kind of a joy of how many people are in astrology now. Like more and more people have embraced it and are working with it. And it's fun to watch how that's happened over the years.
Beautiful, Gwendolyn. Thank you so much. Ajje, Amberlea, would y'all like to introduce yourselves?
Yes. Hello, everyone.
Hello, my name's Ajje. This is Amberlea. I've been studying astrology since I was a teenager, and it has transformed my life. And I'm a visionary artist. And since me and Amberlea have united, we have been studying the galactic calendar, and it's really changed our lives. And it gives just really, really interesting guidance for each day. and encourages creative independence in this life. So, yeah, and I'll let Amberlea talk about herself.
Hello, I'm Amberlea, and I've been studying galactic astrology for the past 9 years, and it's such a beautiful way to get into the synchronic order of life. And so we're all connected to synchronicity, and we know it at times. The galactic calendar gives us a way to deepen that wisdom, that ability to stay in synchronicity and stay in the knowing of all of the signs that the universe is giving us at all times. And so we'll be talking about that a little bit today. And I'm a psychotherapist. I integrate psychotherapy into spirituality, and I assist people in dissolving all patterns of the mind, body, and spirit so that we can step into our ability to create from a completely blank slate. So becoming the artist of our life and being able to really decide how and what we want to create in this life instead of allowing old programs to do that for us.
Thanks for having us, Linda.
Thank you so much. We're so excited to be here.
Good to be here with y'all.
Oh, beautiful. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to hear the beautiful messages that are in the stars for us tonight. I did want to just share some things that are popping up as a theme right now in general. There is very intense energy that is going on for some people, including what I would consider dark nights of the soul for a lot of people. So I just want to acknowledge that if it's been really intense for you, know that the light codes that are going to be coming in tonight are going to be very helpful in supporting you through releasing out what needs to be released. One of the big energetic themes that I was personally experiencing and that I keep seeing over and over again is this very intense push to allow your life to change. That's just been a huge one that's been coming up. And where are you holding on to gripping egoic patterns that actually are keeping you stuck from really living that higher expression that your soul came here to live? And so it can be quite excruciating to let go of what has been so comfortable and so predictable and has been your life up to this point. But the soul has other plans. It wants to take you to the next level. It wants to actually take our entire collective to the next level of consciousness. And so if we're still gripping onto old egoic ways of relating, old egoic ways of perceiving the world, interacting with the world, then we're not allowing the higher soul expression to come through us and into the world. So as I was tuning in earlier today around, this eclipse cycle that we're in with both Taurus and Scorpio that we've been in since 21. We've been kind of bouncing back and forth between Taurus and Scorpio in these eclipses. And I was listening to another astrologer, and she was saying, look back to the year 2002 to 2005, when we also had this Taurus-Scorpio eclipse cycle, and then again in 2012 and 2014 through 2014, where we also had this eclipse cycle again, except the nodes were in different places. And just kind of ask yourself, what was going on then? What do I, what have I, let's say, changed or shifted or understood since that time, and what still needs changing? So as I was tuning into the energy of this, I took a couple of notes of some things that seemed really significant. And one thing that I heard is that, the energy can be very destabilizing right now for many people. Maybe not you, but maybe people including young ones, our youth. So, I have a teenager. I'm very aware of what she's been going through, and she gets a lot of support from a lot of different people. And at the same time, I'm very aware that there are youth out there and young ones out there who may not have conscious parents or those around them that really understand what's going on. So, my heart just opens to sending so much love to all of these powerful young star seeds that are here to build the new earth, that are really needing support right now. So as part of a heart intention I personally have today is to really send out so much supportive love to the younger souls, the younger star seeds out there in the world right now, those being born right now and those that have been around for, the last 2 decades, because they're holding some very special energy, and this has been intense, for everyone. But these young ones, wow, they are brave souls to come in at this time when we've got the old world falling apart and, this new one's not even built yet. So a lot of these youth are feeling very confused, like, what's my future? What am I supposed to be doing? And if they don't have conscious people around them helping them to kind of refocus, it can probably be very difficult. So my heart goes out to those beautiful young souls, and I just set an intention that we hold so much love for them, and of course everyone else as well. And one thing that a question that came up was, how much are you opening up to the willingness to change? How much are you opening up to the willingness to change? So there's a willingness that needs to be present. So that's a question that just kind of is sitting right now. And I feel that, when we get into the transmission, we're going to probably dive possibly more into that. Of course, the guides, they decide what they want to say through me, so we'll see what happens. But there are some very powerful energies here tonight supporting us on both the physical, angelic, and cosmic and galactic levels. So we've got so much support here tonight. And so I hope that those of you that are here live will go to my YouTube channel and share this with everybody because I feel there's going to be messages for parents, messages for the youth, messages for, people really struggling right now and feeling like they're going through that dark night of the soul. And the transmissions and the support that's here for everyone tonight is to help us ease into that, release a lot of the resistance that has been causing so much challenge and pain for so many, including ourselves. I was down for the count yesterday. I mean, the intensity of the energy was so huge for me. So many patterns were coming up, and it was very painful. And so on, and I have lots of tools, and even I was like, I'm just in bed right now crying as I just move through the energy. And that's a good thing to do. We need to do that. That's important. And we also at the same time need to open to the support that's there, to seek it, to call on it, not just from friends, but also from the invisible realms, because they're here to support us and help us. So those are just a couple of the little concepts I wanted to bring in. There's so much more here that I'm sure whatever it is we need to cover will be covered through all of our astrology panel. And we're going to have each of the people on the panel share a little bit about this particular eclipse and this full moon and any unique energies or things we need to be aware of. And then we're going to all kind of have a bit of a little discussion with each other about the different things we said, just to kind of build on what each person is sharing. So let's see here. Mercy, would you like to go first, or AJ, Amber, would you all like to go first? Just kind of feel into the energy and feel what wants to happen.
How about, what? Are they muted? Can we hear them?
Oh, I can't hear y'all. Okay, there you go.
You guys go for it.
Awesome.
Okay, sounds great.
Yeah.
Well, we want to talk with you guys about the galactic calendar. And the first thing I just want to say is this eclipse is bringing major endings to our lives. And I know a lot of us are feeling that right now. So we're in the year of the yellow seed in the galactic calendar, which is based off of Mayan astrology. And it's the year of flowering, targets, and awareness. So we're all blossoming. And on every blossoming, like a cocoon and the caterpillar, there's this gooey stage where the cocoon and butterfly exist at the same time. And then we're moving into the butterfly. So things are flowering. We're figuring out what our goals are. We're targeting on them, and we're gaining awareness about what we want and what we don't want, which is equally important to know what to go away from and what to go towards. And so in this month, in the 13 moon calendar, we call it months. It's a spectral month, which is about dissolve release, and liberation. So it's really a time of letting go. And interesting thing Amber really brought to my attention today is it's also about complexity moving into simplicity. And so these things are no longer serving us. We can let these things go, get really simple. We're getting very clear. And I found out that there's a Saturn energy going on, that the weak areas of our lives that need illuminated and need tweaking are being worked out right now so we can move into our goals. And so it's like the best way past something is through. That's a Pisces energy, you know. So instead of going around it, we're going to go through it. We're feeling the feelings. And this eclipse is going to have us step up our game. And so this is like, okay, we're going through it. All right, so now what's the next thing we're gonna experience to go to the next level? A thing that can help us right now is our vision, to be really clear about the vision that we're holding and what we wish to bring forth. And we can attune with our high levels of intuition. This is a time where our psychic abilities are like coming online. So the frequency of the universe is raising higher and higher. Our psychic abilities are coming online. So it's really good to tap into your intuition and pay attention to what your intuition's telling you, no matter what anybody says. And I think this is also a really good time for boundaries of what's right for you in regards to yourself and everyday life, but also in the whole world. Like, with what's going on in the world, we're just deciding as humanity, like, what is our boundary? What are we willing to tolerate? Which, you know, what is okay and what's not okay? But this is ushering in a new and better chapter into our lives. And so there's a Neptune energy also as well that is really urging us to pay attention to our dreams. You could be having very prophetic dreams right now. 3 days ago, I had one, and it's just really good to have a dream journal, you know, pay attention to what is coming through in your dream life. We're ending right now emotional and self-destructive intensity, daily habits that have a negative effect on our bodies, as well as our addiction to any toxic relationships. So this could be coming to an end right now. Some people are calling it a spiritual war. I'm calling it love wins. It's just love wins in the end. Good always prevails. And this is just the process. We're facing our wounds. We're able to move forward with more confidence. And during the eclipse, we were on the red planetary Earth day, which I love what you said, Linda, about having the assistance from the invisible world. Our angels, ancestors, and aliens, we call them the AAA. These beings beyond time that are here to assist us. Yesterday was about the ancestors. Yeah, we're done with war. And what you put out comes back, right? So if we put out fighting, that's what we attract, you know? So it's not any of that, you know, it's just the evolution process, which is one of the words for the red Earth. So I'm getting chills on this one. I'm feeling like we're inspiring others, leading by example. That's avocado on the drums, if you hear some drums in the background. We're moving from the metaverse to the natureverse. So anything like internet and digital, where like the nature is the entrance into the new world, the heaven on earth, peace on earth reality timeline. I want to let Amberlea have some wonderful things to say. I'm just really quickly here. Yesterday was about manifestation, perfecting, and producing. And so we're figuring out what we don't want so we can manifest what we want. We are releasing and healing. It's about the responsibility to show up, and it's practicing stillness no matter what's going on around you. And you're hearing all these things happen around you. Tomorrow's the blue storm. So it's about being in the stillness through no matter what's going on around us in this life. Wise grandmother once said, the best thing we could do in this life is let go of fear, practice forgiveness with ourselves and others, and let go of karma, which we do by letting go of, or by forgiving. And so, you know, focusing on our goals, for me, feels very important to realize what you truly want, and uniting the light workers so that we could share downloads and come together and make positive change in this world.
Yeah, this month is definitely about liberating through dissolving and releasing. And so from May 2nd to May 29th, we're in that energy of dissolve, release, liberate. They call it the spectral moon. It's the 11th moon of the 13 moon calendar. And so the animal totem associated with this moon is the serpent. And many of us are going through that releasing of the skin and becoming very aware of what is ready to be released, what's ready to be dissolved. so that we can liberate ourselves fully. And so I like to listen to the serpent's wisdom, and what the serpent has really been inspiring me around this month is, once we have allowed ourselves to shed that skin that is wanting to come off so that we can flower into this new world, we may be a bit tender for a while. And so that tender skin, just being really tender with ourselves, going inward, and allowing ourselves to rest and nurture while the new skin grows back. I know that whenever a snake sheds skin, it finds a safe, dark place to crawl into and just stay there for a while, until it's ready to come back out, until that skin feels ready to move back into the world. And so I think all of us can partner with the serpent in that way. Today is the white mirror. And the white mirror is really about seeing our reflection. And we want to see a clear reflection. We want to see a reflection of joy and universal love, all of the things that are true and good. And so when we look into the mirror, this may be a really beautiful day if you feel called to it, to do some sort of mirror exercise. Maybe set a timer for 10 minutes and just look at yourself in the mirror, look into your eyes, and let your spirit guide you as to what may be wanting to be released. 2 days from now, on May 19th, we move into the new galactic spin, which is the red dragon. And the red dragon is about birth and nurturing. And so it's a 260-day spin that will start on May 19th. This is a really beautiful time to think about what is the new way that you would like to transform? Because that day is a day of birth. It's us birthing into our new self. And we have 260 days to transform into whatever that is. And so just taking a little space and a little time to think about, how would I like to transform myself? Because the energies are really potent for it right now.
Beautiful. And just lastly, I just want to say quickly that, and then this last 2 days, 3 days before we move into that new cycle Amberlea was talking about, it's the last days of the artist wave spell, which is the yellow star. So it's about art, elegance, and beauty. And so create your life how you want, and create it artfully, because we're the artists of our lives and we're the creators of all of this.
Yeah, and that reminds me, just like a note on the 260 days. So 260 days is the gestation time to birth something new. And so really this is like a time of gestation. What new are we wanting to birth into the world? The energies are really potent for that right now.
So again, happy rebirth day.
Yeah, happy rebirth day. So these
day.
last few days we can dissolve, release, and liberate what's no longer serving, and then move into that birth.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, that was so beautiful. Thank you so much, Ajje and Amberlea, for sharing your wisdom with the Mayan calendar. Let's see, who would like to go next, Mercy or Gwendolyn?
I'll go. I think Gwendolyn wanted to go last. Yeah, that was Amberlea and Ajje. That was really lovely. And Linda, everything you shared, beautiful. It's always interesting being in the most intense energy that we can have with Scorpio. Is the depths of our psyche, our soul. So even just a full moon in Scorpio can feel like it's very intense, but now on top of that, having this eclipse, which when you even think about the word eclipse, it's it's ceasing something, and the moon goes totally dark. And so it's where we really have no choice but to mind what is in that darkness for us. And it depending on, we all have different circumstances in our life, but this could really be a time where those old traumas, which is what we store in the Scorpio part of ourselves, everything comes to light. And in that, it can be a painful experience, and looking at things that it's much easier to compartmentalize or the kid kind of hides in the light until that light is gone. And then here it all floods in for healing, which is the true goal in all of this. And that birthing process that, Amberlea and Ajje were talking about, that is what happens. And you are, if you think of like even the South Node that is with this eclipse, the South Node is, in Vedic terms, like K2, it is associated with moksha and liberation. And we can't experience those things until we let go of what is binding us to our past. And so, it could be a trauma that's years old that all of a sudden, whether it's today, whether it's next month, starts to come up for resolution. And with this also, Scorpio is our intuition. It's where are we going next? Where are we guided next? And, an aspect that's going on to this is we have Mars and it's conjunct Neptune, and it's forming a trine to this eclipse. And so, Mars is the traditional ruler of Scorpio, and it's right there next, in close combination with that Neptunian energy, which says, hey, this is the time to really be actively seeking your spiritual answers and your spiritual solutions that are going to help your soul evolve in this process. And, we can think of that when we're thinking of that individually. We can think of that when we are thinking of our world. This is a time, this really speaks to, for me anyway, it really speaks to healing this timeline even. We have Pluto, the other ruler of Scorpio, our modern ruler of Scorpio, and Pluto is actually sextiling this eclipse. And so we have these supportive aspects, and, it's saying once we clean out this, then wow, the sky is the limit to where we go. This is where we will be beginning new earth when we purge everything that is coming through an experience like this. And, another aspect that we have going on is Saturn is squaring. So this isn't an easy space to be in. Birth is not easy. And so there could be that feeling like, oh my gosh, yes, we're moving forward and then back and then forward and then back until ultimately, what does that lead us to? It leads us to surrender. And that is the beauty of surrender. And, that's a word that we hear a lot. And it's like, oh yes, surrender, surrender. But when you are forced to surrender, when you have nothing else to do, where your mind doesn't even want to process, and you just have to let your body physically process. You have to let that water in Scorpio wash, which being in water is a lovely place to be during these days. And, allowing that to just wash over you, and having the intention of surrendering everything that came before and blessing it. Oh, thank you so much for how you have helped me evolve, what you have helped me see in myself and those around me, what you have helped us see in this world that is ready to change. So, it's so powerful. And, it's going from powerless to empowered. And so moving through this time, this is kind of the aspect that we're all feeling in one house, one arena of life or another.
Wow, that was beautiful, Mercy. Thank you for sharing those very important points. I'm just sitting here with some of that energy. It's already moving very strongly. Gwendolyn, would you like to share next?
Yes, I am. Yeah, thank you all for sharing. And I feel like a lot of the things that Mercy just shared were some of the aspects I was going to speak to. And I feel like there's this opportunity, as she said, in that surrender, to deepen into that flow, right? Is that it is all this water energy, all that Scorpio energy. And I didn't mention this before, but it just came in that, you know, a huge amount of my work has been sacred movement practices. And for over 25 years, I've led journeys where we wear a blindfold. We go into the darkness intentionally with our breath and learn to trust our own movement in a space with others that are also moving. And I've both participated in that and also witnessed a lot of that. And I think that's like gives me this gift of trusting how everything happens even when people can't see. So not only how I can be in alignment, because the intention of that work is to really a deeper connection with source, a deeper going in, and that's what a lot of what we're being called into right now. And so dropping in, but also that we move together. Like I've seen, there's been giant rooms and people will dance right next to each other, and they'll sometimes dance inside and around each other. And I'm usually there if they're looking like they're going to hit each other, but, you know, as a kind of protector, but often they're dancing with each other and they can't even see. And I feel like that practice led me into the other group works I do, but also with open eye dances, watching how people gather and create, and how like I might feel like someone needs support, but someone else shows up to support them, or I'm the one to support, or I'm dropping into a dance with other people and really we're dropping in together. So there's both the dropping in internally and dropping in together in this surrender, right? And I feel like that's part of the times that we're in, right? Like, how do we do that? It is hard, like Mercy said, it's hard in that we're building muscle. That's what I keep remembering. It's like we're building new muscles and we're being asked to trust completely, really is actually the thing. We're being asked to all those little ways that we kind of do, our ego tries to figure it out. And then we trust. It's like, no, you're not in control anyway. And we've all had moments like that, birth specifically for me, but we've all had moments like that when we knew something bigger we're a part of is happening, and that is happening right now. So there's that energy of a deeper level of trust and faith, and that Mars Neptune she was talking about. It's interesting because it's actually action with spirit. So we're being invited to do that dance blindfolded, right? We're being invited to be so in tune that we trust our movements from that place. And I feel like that's a huge piece of what we're navigating. And the astrology all week keeps kind of helping us integrate this eclipse, right? Like there's the Saturn energy she was talking about that's saying, you know, it's kind of like there's something about what are you letting go of and what are you in? That willingness you were talking about, willingness to change, and where are you willing to change and do the work for it, right? The Saturn is saying, are you willing to build new things? Because it's going to take time. And we're going to, you know, it's so there's kind of like being in the unknown together, and how do we build new things? And there's a lot of aha energy coming in as the week goes on with Pluto, and like Mercy was saying, there's a lot of support astrology, right? Pluto and the sun and all the other pieces that are kind of holding us, Neptune and Mars, holding us as we walk through this, right? So I feel like there's that gift of that. And the other thing I'll just mention, and it would be good to maybe listen to what we talked about, you know, for that new moon eclipse. We're in a portal and we just finished the eclipse portal, but we're in this flow. So I know there were things that stirred up for me on the 30th and the 1st, this new energy. And then we stepped into that spectral moon they were talking about. But we've been in a lot of change for a lot. Like the last 2 weeks probably felt longer than 2 weeks for most of us in terms of how much has shifted. Yeah. And that's what we're kind of, it's like all of the planets are holding us as we do this hard work, because those deep core wounds have to come up. And that's the thing, is they live in our bodies. So when we go in and we're not in control, the things that are running deep underneath, the unconscious, subconscious, deep Scorpio waters are up. And as Linda said, they're up for everyone, especially the young ones. There's a lot to be with. And at the same time, Jupiter just went into Aries, which is kind of last week. It's bringing in this new energy, right? It's starting kind of a new cycle through the zodiac on Aries. And it's like, it's this new energy of where are we going to expand? Where are we going to grow? So it's really interesting to be kind of lost and having to go into total surrender. And the new energy is here. The new life is here. The new things we're creating. And there's energy about it. Jupiter's in Aries. So there's a part of us like, I want to move. I want to create. And then as soon as that moves, all this stuff we have to look at in order to really create is here. And I feel like that's the other piece. And to really think about, like, June 2010 is when Jupiter went into Aries. And it's interesting that that eclipse portal was also around that time at June of 2010. Jupiter first went into Aries. So if you look at your 2010, which I've been looking at, 2010 to 2011, it's pretty profound to see that and to think about where we are now in the spiral of Jupiter and going, wow, some of those pieces, are they healed? Are they not? You know, I feel like that's another time to look at. 2010 into 2011, it was a big, you know, so there's the eclipse one that kind of takes us into 2012, but I feel like when did you kind of expand and grow, and what area was that happening in, and where is that that's coming around, where is that happening now? So that's another piece of this astrology. And it's like it was said, there's this energy to do that, almost like the baby in the womb moving around. And there's also the shedding, the deep shedding, like she was talking about, the skin shedding all of the old and being really vulnerable. And so I feel like, you know, that's part of it. And we actually all know when we're in flow and when we're in magic, and we actually started coming in that way. Like, we were in alignment when we came in. So I feel like there's this reminder that we know that, like me when I'm talking about the dances, watching how people can move together, closed-eyed in a room or open-eyed, lots of people. There's an amazing interconnected awareness that we actually are living and have. And we all had light when we said yes to come in. So there's that knowing, and we all know when we're in flow, when everything seems to be working, even as things are dissolving, right? Like, there's magic, what I call magic, but it's really just the natural synchronicity of being really tuned in and interconnected with each other. So that energy is really present in this. And it's even more so because we have to surrender because our egos are actually what slow everything down. So there's an invitation to be like, huh. That's one of my favorite words, by the way, is huh. Especially in the last few years, it's like, huh, wow. You know, it's kind of like, there's so much that's a way to be with it. That's what's happening. That's what's here. That's what's present. So just that invitation to really be with that and to be in our faith on a whole nother level. And it's funny because I've had this card, it has an eagle on it for years. And I was moving some stuff in the last few months, and I've got it out again. And it's got a quote that I was just gonna share kind of as a completion thing. But I feel like it's important about this idea that we're in flow, we're in movement, and we're dropping in. So it's like all of that's happening at once. So if you think you're in a blindfolded dance with everyone, you know, maybe that'll be fun. And but I've always liked this, and it came to me just recently to remind me, and I'm sharing it for this time, is the quote is, when you come to the edge of all the light you know and are about to step off into the darkness of the unknown, faith is knowing one of two things will happen. There will be something solid to stand on, or you will be taught how to fly. And that's by Barbara J. Winter. But I felt like that's some offering for this intense time.
Oh, that is absolutely beautiful, Gwendolyn. You might need to type that in the chat for people. I think that is a powerful thing to read and contemplate, actually. Woo, big stuff here. All right, so I wanted to give the panel time to comment on anything else based on what you heard anybody else say before we go into the transmission. And also if there's anyone, any of our participants that are watching that would like to type into the chat any particular question you might have for the panel or any specific person on the panel. So I'm going to give time for that as well. So does anyone on the panel have any other things to share based on what you heard each other say? Okay, let's see if there's any questions from the participants. So if there are any, oh, Amberlea, do y'all want to share something, AJ?
Yeah, I can share something. One thing that came up for me, there's everybody's talking about liberating by releasing and dissolving and being able to nurture ourselves through that process. And what came up for me was this idea of how everything around us is a mirror for where we're at inwardly, and especially people. And so I love practicing watching my reaction to other people. So if I have a strong reaction to another person, then I know that it's not so much about the other person, but it's something within that experience that is pointing me inward to look at, okay, this may be something within my ego that's wanting to be released. Why would I have, what is the reason I had this strong reaction to this person? And so just being able to really go inward and look at it from that direction, instead of feeling like, oh, I don't like this person, or, I don't like what they did. It's really like, wow, I had this strong reaction. What within me is wanting to be released? And then from that, I feel like forgiveness, just being able to really move into forgiveness and gratitude for the teaching has been so helpful. Just those two words, so simple and also so helpful.
Yeah, I just want to add to that, when we pay attention to our intuition, when it comes up like, I didn't pay attention and this happened, I did pay attention and this happened, I feel like there's a lot of learning here right now with that. And it's okay that if you don't do what your intuition said and then you wish you did, because you learned that you're learning how to work with it. And I love that it keeps coming up in this talk today about surrender. And it's literally just, stepping back and letting it happen. I've been feeling that energy coming into.
Yeah. I loved what I think Gwendolyn or Mercy, it may have been Gwendolyn, about strengthening our muscles. Like that's what really all of this is strengthening our intuitive muscle and the muscles for being our whole self.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh, I love that. Does anybody else have anything to add on to that or to share and expand on? We also have a question in the chat: how to support our young ones, our youth, especially in this case, age 13. Any reflections anyone has from the panel?
Well, just as far as this Scorpio eclipse is concerned, a lot of things that come up with Scorpio, there can be a lot of fear, because we tend to fear what is unknown to us. And so this is where, when we have the opportunity and really are blessed to be able to guide our teenagers, when we show up in that power and strength, and Pluto, our modern ruler of this eclipse, that is what Pluto is. It is our power. And so when we can set an example and hold space for them to purge their fears, right? Because when we talk about things, they're not as scary as we make them in our mind when we play them over and over again. And I mean, I'm just as guilty of this. Sometimes, I was doing this weekend and it was like, oh, looking at my children's charts where you see an aspect where you're like, that's kind of a nail biter, and so you just have to breathe and take it all in and know that, there are infinite ways that any situation can play out. And you can, it's like you can think, okay, here's this limited amount, or like, here's what has happened in the past. And so really this is letting go and using the opportunity as, was mentioned, hey, let's set intentions to what we actually want to create with this. So here are your fears. And where can we go with these fears? What can we set intentions for that are going to take you from the disempowered to the empowered? And our youth, they are paying attention. they are watching. They're watching all of the influences that we have going on. And there have been, as this, everything is culminating, right? You see everything, the positives, the negatives, and everything. Like, there can be well, which direction are we going to go? But, inevitably, going back to birth, inevitably the baby's coming out. Like, there's only one direction. And I think Amberlea and Ajje were saying, the only way is through. So it is just having that strength as a parent, as a grandparent, as a guide, to just let them know, all that fear is totally okay. In fact, it would be weird if you didn't have any. Yeah, and so it's great to just look within and help them navigate that space.
That's beautiful, Mercy. Thank you. Gwendolyn, do you want to share?
Yeah, what's come to mind, and it was coming from a different direction, and then in relationship to this question, is the entire systems we're a part of are in a change right now. And we all feel that. So we're actually all in that unknown. So acknowledging that, and acknowledging that odds are, if she's read any of the books for her age group or watched any of the movies, or he's watched any of them, or they've watched any, is there's a reason we've been shown people having, especially more and more lately, where the heroes are complicated. The hero's backstory is there, but there's more complicatedness. Even in Marvel worlds, there's like, and other stories, we're getting more of the backstory and the complexity of, where we come from and who we are. And the reason I mentioned that is because there's like this core, not Jupiter Aries thing, core hero, that there's a power inside of us that can walk through the times we're in. And that we might have been given, in addition to listening to the feelings and honoring them and giving them space, acknowledging that we actually have that core leader inside of us too. And even the young ones do. And that they came here for this time, and there's some part of them that is that strong, that's watching over the vulnerable part of them. And I almost, I've seen from another astrologer that I like, Pam Gregory, but, like Jupiter and Aries, it's a chance for our inner superhero to come online, our inner, and our innate warrior to come in and show up for us and walk inside of us and watch over the little part of us. And that's true if you're not a teenager, if you're any age. We need that part of us that's like, wow, I can show up through the hardest times. And personally, for me, remembering that I've had hard times that I've shown up with myself for, and that I've witnessed that for others, and how life happens over time. But I feel like something about acknowledging we have some capacity for this time on some level, or we wouldn't be here. And then the other piece, that this time is about leaning into each other. We're stepping out. So there's Jupiter and Aries, which is very independent, but the times we're in are like, how are we going to be strong together? But I feel like there's something about remembering that we actually all have an inner strong wisdom part of us, that power, that empowerment that Mercy was talking about, because it's not just Jupiter, it's the Pluto energy and all the other things. But how do we actually call up that part of us as we walk in the mystery and the unknown and things follow, because we're all going to be part of walking in it. And actually, and especially the young ones, we're here to build the new. They're here to build the new, especially. And we're here to help support this new that is coming in. This new earth is here and it is coming in. But it's going to be like this, that sadder stuff. There's like, how are you in for the long haul? The discomfort that comes when you have to change completely, the willingness to change that Linda was talking about, and what that means, and how we're going to build things which are new. And I feel like there's something about that for all of us, but definitely the young ones. To me, there's no accident in the stories they've been fed since they came in. Like, they've read Harry Potter or whatever, there's all these, the complexity of the heroes. I feel like that's something that generation, and multidimensional stuff and all that, it's all part of a preparation for this time that we're actually in.
Wow, that was a beautiful observation, Gwendolyn. Thank you. Ajje, Amberlea, did y'all have something to add to that?
Yeah, I just wanted to give some advice to the children that I think might be helpful. And also just want to say about the Jupiter and Aries, my Jupiter's in Aries. And so I know Jupiter and Aries is about bringing something new to the world that maybe hasn't been here before. And, going beyond the fear to like go forward. This energy of fearlessness has been coming up and, needing to have that, but also the fears. So I had a dream when I was a child that there was this scary being chasing me through a house. It was like a bad guy, like an adversary, some kind of scary monster. Didn't really know what it was, but it was chasing me through this house. And I was maybe 6 or 7. I'm running through this house, running in circles, running till I couldn't run. And even as a child, I felt this feeling of like, even anger, just like, know what? I'm not going to run anymore. And I turned around to look at it, and it shrunk down to a tiny little mouse. And I was like, oh, there's nothing to be afraid of. And so I guess what I would just want people, children to know is to face your fears and to put the attention on, because usually when you face them and you shine light upon it, it's like lighting a light in a dark room. It just illuminates and it goes away. And that's a really simple way to put it, and it's not always true. The last piece of advice I would give is, you could use your consciousness to like look but don't stare. You could see something that's horrifying, and then feel your feelings, but then focus on what you want. And I always like to use consciousness kind of like Photoshop. There's something in my consciousness I don't like, I could shrink it down and whoop, so we have that creative control over consciousness. Thank you.
Oh, I love that, AJ. Thank you. Amberlea, did you have anything else to share?
Well, a quick addition, we actually had some really beautiful young people here for the past week, and what I saw was we were able to create a safe place. There's many people here right now, like 10 or 11 people, and AJ and our house became sort of their like safe zone. If they needed to just come and know that they can be held in like a safe zone, that's where they would come. And the things that we were doing were listening. We were just listening. Whatever they said, if it was fears, if it was whatever was coming up for them, we weren't trying to give them any advice or do anything for them, but we allowed them to talk about it and sat with them through it. We didn't try to make it different or anything like that. And so as adults, sometimes, when children are telling us about their fears, it can really trigger our own fears or, our own traumas that have come up in our lifetimes. And so as the adults supporting these beautiful children, navigating that through our breath, staying really still and grounded, and being able to hold space for them in a way where we're not projecting our own fears and triggers onto them. Just really holding that safe place of non-judgment. I loved what everybody was saying about letting them know, of course you're fearful. If you weren't, like, that would be strange. Your fears are welcome here. And then, calling in that inner warrior, like Gwendolyn was saying, reminding them that they have the keys to the costume closet. They can call in the queen and the king and the warrior and the joker and, whoever they want to help.
And remember to laugh.
Yes, silliness and playfulness.
Oh, those are all beautiful things. Oh my gosh, I love that. And I feel that in the transmission, just asking the guides to also come through and channel some wisdom for everyone around our youth and our children. So I'm sure that's going to come through in the transmission, because I'm setting that as the intention. So if y'all are ready, we are going to begin the transmission. You can turn off your camera and just go quiet, maybe drink a little bit of water, and then place your hand on your heart. And we're just going to begin breathing and really allowing ourselves to be open and relaxed and surrendered in our physical body, so that we can receive deeply the gifts, the transmissions, the light codes, the wisdom that is here for us. So I'm going to begin tuning in. And I'm going to walk us through a little grounding process, and then I'm going to listen for those messages and share that with you. Know that as maybe a first timer to a transmission, your job is just to relax deeply and receive. This isn't a mind practice, so don't be trying to figure out in your head what I'm saying. Instead, just open and receive the energy. You can always go back and re-listen later, but it's not really an intellectual exercise. It is truly a practice of embodying the wisdom, the sound, the words, and what's underneath the words, the energetics that are here, without trying to get too much in your head and try to figure things out. There's nothing to do other than to be here now, relax completely, open to receive. So I am bringing in the transmission and you are receiving. And know, of course, that each one of you are yourselves transmitters, and you've got beautiful beings of light all around you right now. So this transmission is something that is going on many multidimensional layers. Okay, it's not just through my voice, but there are energies present around each of you, bringing in exactly what you need right now. So we're going to be calling in our loved ones to be a part of this and gifting the energy of this transmission to all of our loved ones, our friends, to the collective, to special people in our lives. And we gift it with no agenda. We ask that if this transmission is in the best interest of that soul, that they receive it on other planes, okay? So that they receive the gifts on another plane. They don't have to be here. They don't have to actually even listen to this recording. They can receive those beautiful messages of grace and light in a different way, so that their soul is supported to support their human here on the planet. So we're going to set that intention as well. So taking some long deep breaths, placing one hand on the heart maybe and one hand on the belly if that feels right for you. And just for the moment, as you breathe, just set the intention that as you breathe in, you're breathing in willingness to change. You're breathing in surrender into the body. And as you exhale, you're releasing, you're dissolving whatever your higher self soul is ready to release and dissolve. You might notice that there's some conscious things you want to release and dissolve. Maybe you're working through something specific right now, and you can set that as part of your intention. And at the same time, you can also surrender to your higher self and your soul that already knows exactly what is ready to dissolve, what exactly is ready to release, so that the birthing, the rebirth, the new skin on you can be born and protected with light. So just breathing in, surrender, breathing in that willingness, and then as you exhale, allowing the dissolving and the release. From all layers and levels of your being, we ask that this powerful breath begin the clearing process for each of you. So just breathing consciously, long, deep, conscious breaths. Fall in love with the power of your breath right now to clear within you the knots, clear within you any blockages to the flow of life and energy within you. Just going to let the breath do that. So you're just breathing in that beautiful surrender and willingness to change, and then as you exhale, dissolving, releasing, and just allowing yourself to enjoy that process of the inhale and the exhale. And staying in the heart energy right now as you do that, as you breathe. You can even imagine yourself breathing through your heart. Inhaling, exhaling through the heart. I'm going to call in some special grounding angels and beings of light to assist in the grounding process today for some of you. I'm feeling we're going to need some extra grounding today. So for most of you, you're going to see, if you're one of these people who sees or senses, 2 extra souls or energies of light near your feet that are placing their beautiful hands on your feet to help you ground in right now, so we can embody more deeply this transmission. So just thanking these beautiful beings for holding you, grounding you in, pulling those roots out of your feet, out of your tailbone into the earth right now. So as you breathe through the heart, visualizing these beautiful grounding angels helping to pull your energy down into the body, out of the head, down below the belly button, allowing those roots to grow. See them helping you grow those roots deep to the center of the earth, wrapping your roots around Mother Earth's heart, right in the center of the earth. And just breathing as your body keeps dropping and relaxing more and more, releasing any tension or tightness or constriction in your body. Just noticing where your body's talking to you right now. And with love, telling that part of the body, you're safe. It's safe to just relax and open. It's okay to let go. So with the exhale, releasing, dissolving the tightness, the pain, whatever may be going on in the body right now. Letting the exhale help to release those tight energies in the body. If you feel you need to move a little bit to release the shoulders, the hands, the feet, let yourself move a little bit if that feels right for you. Listen to your body, because you may need to just move a little bit to let the energy move through you and ground down into the earth. So just continuing to breathe through the heart, allowing those beautiful grounding angels to help you ground your energy down into the earth. They're telling me that there's a couple of you that are not connected to your Earth Star chakra. That energy is about 4 to 6 feet below your feet. So just imagine 6 feet below your feet, a beautiful star in the earth. And I want you just to see yourself, your energy, your roots connecting to that Earth Star, 6 feet below your feet. Good. There we go. Great. Yep. There's a couple of you that were disconnected there. Excellent. So now you're feeling your body more. Your body might be a little heavier now. Good. And you might actually be feeling more things in your body because you're more in the body. That's perfect. Just notice. Just be aware and just tell that part of the body, I hear you, I feel you. I'm here, it's safe to release and relax. Good, good, good. Yes, excellent. Okay, so as you're continuing to allow that, I just want to acknowledge that there's a beautiful circle of light around each of you. Your beautiful spirit teams, your invisible realms are around each of you right now. So some of you may know your guides, some of you may not, doesn't matter. We all have a beautiful team of light. Each of us has one. Every soul on the planet has a team of light. And your team of light is here today, including, wow, some of your councils of light. Okay, we're going to have a big one tonight. So some of you even have your councils of light here, standing around you to assist you. They're also showing me a beautiful amphitheater around all of us right now. So everyone who's live here, and everyone who will listen later, know that there's only now. So we're all present right now, whether you listen to this now or listen to this 3 weeks from now. There's a beautiful amphitheater of powerful cosmic galactic beings, angelic realms, powerful divine beings that are here right now. Such as, I'm just going to give you some names of some of the energies that are coming through. We have Mother Mary, we have Sunat Kumara, Metatron, Melchizedek. Wow, we have a superstar group of light beings here tonight that are all in the amphitheater around us, holding so much love. I'm like, my heart wants to just break with all the love that is here for us. Okay, so they're saying that right now they want your hearts to break open with the love that is here for you. So if you need to release some emotions right now, if you need a sigh or make some sound, do that to really open up the heart. They're just sending so much love to our hearts right now to kind of burst open some of the ways we've been holding very tightly in our hearts, not wanting to kind of break open the dam of the emotions that need to release. We need to release them. It's very important to release. So they really want us to open the heart and let the heart open. Let everything that needs to wash out of the heart with the light and the love that they're sending to everyone right now. So if you need to make sounds, if you need to cry, if you need to, scream or whatever, no one's hearing it, at least not on on the video. So feel free to do that, or just make a note to do it later if you can't do it in this now moment. But the guides are saying it's time. Open up the heart and let what needs to come out come out. You don't need to hold it any longer by yourself. It's time for it to be processed out. So the guides are saying this is going to be a very unique transmission of light tonight. They're going to be walking us through some specific things. So they're saying right now it's about opening that heart as big as you can. So just allowing the heart energy in whatever image you want. So imagining the heart opening. I like to see a beautiful rose or a flower opening. Some of you might see double doors opening in the heart. Whatever image works for you. And you're just going to let the flood of things your heart has been holding back, just let it flow out. The beautiful beings of light that are here supporting all of us are helping to transmute a lot of that energy very quickly, right here in this now moment, as you just open the heart and just let it flood out. If you allow it to happen right now, it's going to move a lot more quickly than if you try to do this by yourself later. So the guides are saying just go for it. Woo, lots is moving right now. Good. So if you've had anger, rage, every emotion, doesn't matter what it is, all emotions are welcome, and they're welcome to be transmuted back to divine light right now. Nothing wrong with feeling whatever you are feeling right now. Let it be here, let it flow, let yourself acknowledge and feel it through the body so that it can release. So you don't want to suppress it or run away from it or make it wrong, the guides are saying. Just let it flow through you. Good. Okay, so the guides are saying that they heard the questions about the youth and the children and how to support them, and they're saying this right here, this tool right here, as a mother, as a parent, as a teacher, as a mentor, as someone who interacts with youth, you can hold the space for them and just tell them it's okay, it's safe. Just open up your heart. I'm here, you're safe, and just let whatever needs to release through your heart. If they need to scream, yell, cry, allow that. It's about you being centered and grounded as the adult in their life to be able to hold a beautiful heart energy around them as they release out so much. So the guides want to share something important here about what's going on with our youth and our young ones. They are coming in not with their own karma. They're coming in with the karma that hasn't gotten cleared yet in your generations, in their mothers and fathers' generations. So they're actually coming in to clear out the karma that you and generations before have not. And so that's why it can be very intense for some of these young ones, because they're kind of finishing up the work that we didn't finish. They're moving through this karma really fast, so it can be very intense for some of them. But know that they are all incredibly powerful souls, and they are teachers to us of how to move through karma really fast and clear it out. So know that some of your children or youth that are around you are clearing out generations of karma that we have not cleared out up to this point. Because it's got to be moved out and dissolved in order for the new to be here and be built. So know that some of these powerful divine young souls are doing some serious work right now for the light. So bow to them. Say thank you to them. Love them. Don't make them wrong. Don't make them sick. Don't make them unstable. Don't make them mentally ill. The guides are really clear about this. Do not give them labels. Do not drug them up. They are doing the work. They're doing the light work that we up to this point have not. And they are strong souls to do it. They just need your support, your heart support, your love, letting them know they're normal, that it's okay. They are powerful. They are superheroes. They actually are profound, divine superheroes of light that are coming in to clear out a lot for the generations that hasn't gotten cleared out. So That's what they have to say about that right now. They just want you to hold them in so much love. Do not make them wrong for how they are feeling. Do not in any way allow them to be labeled anything other than the superheroes they are. Clearing out the karma. Love them. Support them in the ways that they need. Allow them to be and feel so that they can clear it out. Your job, as I think Amberlea and Ajje were saying, stillness. Listen. Heart open. Ground yourself in so that you can be that powerful guardian holder of whatever is going on with them right now, so that they don't feel they have to hold back because you can't handle it. Your job is to handle it. Your job is to say, it's okay. Feel what you need to feel. You're a superhero. You can do this, and I'm here loving you, and you're okay, and you're amazing, and you're wonderful, and there's nothing wrong with you. And that I know what you're feeling is incredibly intense. And I'm here as a team player, loving you and supporting you in this. Thank you so much. So we want to bow to our youth. We want to bow to these young ones and tell them thank you for the very intense work that some of them are actually doing for the collective right now. I mean, it's truly, I mean, wow. My heart just, again, expands so big for them because they are our teachers. And we have to acknowledge them and respect them as the powerful superhero teachers they are to us. Because they're transmuting at a level probably none of us on the planet have done before. And they're doing it at such a young age. It's truly miraculous, actually, when you see it. The way that they're showing this to me, the light involved, I'm like, whoa, seriously. It's beyond the CG you would see in some of these movies. It's truly powerful what they're doing. So they're saying, we don't want to turn this into some major negative concern. We want to say, no, what's going on is amazing. Bow to them. Support them in the ways that they need. Support them with consciousness. Okay. Whew. So right now, if you do know of children or youth, whether you know whether they're going through something or not, I just want you to bring them to mind right now. Whoever they are. Maybe they're your friends or the neighbors' kids or your grandchildren or great-grandchildren or your children. Just bring to mind all of these beautiful young souls. Children and youth, young adults, just bring them into your mind right now. Hold them in your heart. Send them a beautiful smile of love. And in your heart say thank you. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you so much. I love you. We love you. You're doing amazing. And we're here to support you and help you. In whatever way that is. Whether it's just listening, being still, just holding you as you cry, or letting you kick and destroy something because that's going to help you get that anger out that's been in the generations for who knows how long. Yes, it's okay to do that. All emotions are welcome here. So just breathing that in and sending that beautiful love, just let it emanate from your heart to these beautiful young souls that you know. And also to all young children and souls in the world right now, just sending a wave of heart light out into the world to surround all of these beautiful souls. Good, and just breathing that in, calling in beautiful archangels of healing light for each of those beautiful souls. So asking that an archangel of healing light please descend on every child and youth at this time who is transmuting generations of karma for our world and for our collective. May they be surrounded by their beautiful archangel of healing that supports them, that reinforces and fortifies their hearts, their souls, their minds, their spirits, to continue doing this powerful work in the world, to not give up on themselves, to not give up on the adults around them, and that they're not alone, that they feel the presence of this divine angelic support. So just feeling, sensing, asking for that. Beautiful. They're telling me that there are so many beautiful light codes of blessings for each of you who are in any way interacting with the youth, have youth or children in your life, that you are also at this time being downloaded very specific light codes to support the children and the youth that may be around you, or that you are working with, or that you may work with in the future. So there's some very specific light codes coming in for all of you that are going to help you support these younger generations. So just opening your heart and allowing these light codes to come in. Okay, so all of that is moving right now. If you feel you need to kind of move your body to let that energy keep moving through you, do that. Okay, so now I'm going to listen to any other specific messages that they have. Know that these light codes are going to keep on coming down until we're complete. So for each of you, there's very specific light codes that I may not mention for the whole group, but know that if you've set an intention for something that you're struggling with right now, whether it's a toxic relationship, whether it's just relationship issues, whether it's whatever it is, just know that there are very specific light codes that are here to support you. So just being in gratitude and thanks for that right now. Good. Okay, so the guides and the beautiful beings that are here right now, I keep feeling a very strong presence of Sunak Kamara, so I feel that this energy wants to come through. It's probably one of the first times I've ever channeled this particular energy, so I'm just going to listen to what messages are here. I keep hearing the word surrender. There's something very important here about understanding the energetic of surrender. Okay. First thing that I'm hearing is that we must reprogram our understanding of surrender. It's not the same definition of surrender from the Piscean age. It's a very different kind of surrender. It's a surrender that is rooted in your sovereignty. It is a surrender that's rooted in your sovereignty. It is not a surrender because you're powerless. It is not a surrender because, there's nothing else you can do and, oh, well, I'm a victim. That was the old way of surrender. That's not the energetic that they want you to align to. So the download of light codes at this time is bringing in this higher consciousness understanding of what it means to truly surrender, for a soul to truly be willing to let the old egoic patterns release and dissolve from a place of their sovereignty. I am a sovereign being. I claim myself as a sovereign being. And from this place of my sovereignty, I divinely surrender anything that does not support this sovereignty. This is the new energetic of surrender. You surrender from a place of your divine sovereignty. You surrender from a place of I am an empowered being of light, and I release anything within my system, within multidimensional layers of my expression in the world. I release anything that is caught up in the lower egoic beliefs, in lower egoic traumatic patterns that are not honoring the sovereignty that I am as a being of light. So anything, any pattern, any way of thinking, believing that in any way disempowers you and makes you feel, believe, act that you are not sovereign, that is what is ready to go right now. And yes, we have been gripping and holding on to very deep egoic patterns that keep us out of our sovereignty, that keep us disempowered, that keep us in states of fear, for where we literally surrender over our power, give up our power to things, around us that, of course, our sovereign self would never do. So the guides are saying that this level of surrender, this new frequency, these new light codes of surrender that are activating in everybody's system right now, are actually building up your sovereign muscles. So that word is apparently a theme tonight. So building up your sovereignty muscles so that you release anything that weakens your sovereignty, anything that weakens you and makes you feel like you're a victim, or that you are disempowered in some way, or you're blaming things outside of yourself. As one of the panel members said, if you get triggered by someone outside of yourself that upsets you, or makes you angry, or whatever that might be, whatever emotion gets triggered in you, know that it's not that other person. There's something going on within you where you're disempowered in your own sovereignty. And so it's time for you to release whatever that is. And again, the guides are saying you don't have to sit here and think deeply. It's not about thinking deeply about this. It's about saying yes. Yes, yes, yes. Anything in my life right now that disempowers me, anything in my life right now, any pattern, any way of thinking, any way of acting, behaving, speaking, that actually disempowers me and makes me feel less than sovereign, yes, I am ready and willing to let those old egoic patterns go. Whether they're mine, whether I'm holding them from my family system, whether they're generational, whether they're aspects of a trauma I had in the past. Yes, right now I am willing to let go, surrendering from my sovereignty as a powerful being, so that what does not honor me as a sovereign being of light, I am willing to change. I'm willing to let it go. With grace, with ease. With grace, with ease. Calling in grace to make it easy for you to let these patterns go. You don't have to suffer for weeks on end. In fact, you don't even have to suffer for several hours. You can literally allow the deep feelings that need to be released, the patterns, the awarenesses, just feel them flow through you, saying, yes, I'm complete with this. My sovereign self no longer is going to be disempowered by these patterns. These patterns aren't wrong. They're just not in alignment any longer for you as a sovereign being on the planet. So you don't have to make the patterns wrong and kick yourself and blame yourself and punish yourself. No, the guides are saying no. You just simply say, anything that does not honor my sovereignty, with grace, with ease, I release it. I'm aware of it. I see it. I've learned the lessons from it. If it's something that needs to be learned, let your soul learn that lesson, and then release it with peace, with blessing, saying thank you. Thank you for those lessons. Yes, they were painful. Thank you for those patterns. Yes, they were painful, but they served a purpose at one time. Whether it was in this lifetime for you, or in generations past, or in other lifetimes, they served a purpose. So we bow. We literally bow. So I want you to imagine you are bowing full on to all that has come before, that disempowered you, that kept you in a victim place, that kept you in a blaming place, that kept you in a protective stance, that in any way covered up your light and your sovereignty. We just want to bow to all of it and say thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your service. And I release you with love. I release you with consciousness, that you go back to the light now. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. And just releasing that out. Seeing yourself bowing to all of it. And allowing it with grace and with ease to just be dissolved with the light that is already here. It's already here in your heart, with the light that is already an aspect of your sovereignty. Beautiful. Whew. Wow. So the guides are saying that as you continue to release that which covers up or blocks your sovereign flow of energy, as you keep releasing and dissolving and letting it go, being willing, surrendering from sovereignty, you will begin to feel a deep peace in your life, or in that part of your life where you've been holding on. So the gift here is peace, a profound peace in your heart, a profound peace in your body, a profound peace in your mind as you release and let go of these old patterns. That is the gift that is being given to you as you are willing to go through, in some cases, the pain of releasing what needs to be released, or changing whatever in your life needs to change. Know that the gift is profound peace at all layers and levels of your being, in every cell of your body. Peace. There is only peace here when we move into our divine sovereignty, where we resist nothing, where we surrender from our power, and we know that we're divine light beings, and what no longer serves, we just let it go. We don't even give it a second thought. We just say, yes, I release it, I bless it, I move on. And feeling that peace in your heart as you allow the releasing of these patterns. The guides are saying it does not have to be an excruciatingly painful process. They know that it has been for many of us, because that's how we've known. That's how we've known to release things, is we've thought, we've believed it had to be through some type of challenge or pain. And the guides are saying no longer is this true. So they're bringing down some very powerful programming that will supplant the old programming of it needs to be painful, it needs to be excruciating, it needs to be a horrific challenge for me to let go of all of this. And the guides are saying, no, actually it does not. It can be a conscious letting go, and then allowing that divine peace to settle in your body. So just breathing that in, opening your heart to the gratitude of such a gift, and saying thank you to these divine beings for the powerful messages and light codes that are at this moment being downloaded into every layer of your soul expression at this time, whether it's here on the planet or in some other dimension. Know that this is something that is complete and whole from top to bottom, bottom to top, they're saying, so that you may begin to feel deep moments of peace. Peace with yourself first, and then peace with others. Peace with the world, because that's what the world needs right now. Hearts filled with peace and stillness. Hearts ready to listen with peace in their heart. And allow this peace to become a wave that transforms our world. Choosing peace over war. Choosing peace over arguing a point. Choosing peace over needing to be right. Just choosing peace, stillness, listening. If you can embody this frequency in your body, you are gifting our collective something great. So just know that if you can become that pillar of peace on a daily basis, you are doing your divine light work on the planet. Because it is not easy to get to this state of peace, but it is here for you now. It's a state of peace that very few have reached until this particular time in history. And it is the gift that you receive from deeply surrendering, releasing, dissolving, and letting go of the old. And as more and more people on the planet release, let go, dissolve their old egoic patterns, etc., the more peace we're going to see around us, the more peace we're going to feel in our bodies, and the more peace we're going to see out there in the world. All of the divine beings, the cosmic realms, the galactic realms, the angelic realms, the realms of divine manifestations of God are all here for you right now, saying thank you, thank you, thank you. We thank you for all that you are doing personally, for all the ways that each of you are serving and the different ways that you each serve. They're thanking each of you for your presence on the planet and for your willingness to become those pillars of peace by allowing yourselves to surrender and release, being willing to make the changes in your life that bring about that peace. So breathing this in, breathing in that peace that surpasseth all understanding. It is here for each of you. And again, placing one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. And in this moment, just move into gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It is done, it is done, it is done, it is done, it is done. And continuing to hold that peace and coming back to it on a daily basis, or coming back to listening to this transmission to assist you and others to find that peace through surrendering from the place of your sovereignty. I say thank you to all the divine beings that are here, to all the realms of light, from all layers and levels of existence who are here, to divine source, to the love that is here. I bow and I say thank you. Thank you for this light, this support, the transmissions that are assisting each soul on their journey. And with that, we are now completing the transmission. So beginning to move your fingers and toes and gently opening your eyes if you feel that that's the right thing to do. If you feel you want to stay in this deep state, please do so. Because we're reaching our closing time, I really just want to honor the peace that is here and not really allow much more talking. We're just going to allow this peace to be here, asking that this peace take you into very deep states of sleep and healing tonight, for those of you that are listening tonight, and for all of you whenever you listen to this. So just allowing that peace. I want to thank our beautiful panel. Thank you, Mercy, Gwendolyn, Amberlea, and Ajje. Thank you for your light and your service on the planet. And we will come back again for another gathering of wisdom and light for whatever's going to come up next that the guides say, let's bring them together. So just know that that will be happening again in the near future. And again, I just want to honor the peace that is here and the fact that several of you are still in process. So we're just going to let that keep going. And I'm just going to close out for tonight. Again, saying thank you to all of our beautiful panel, blessing all of you with so much love, so much light, knowing that your presence is so important on the planet, so important. And if any of the people on the panel want to type into the chat any of their offerings or how to be reached for an astrology reading or any other thing that you are in any way offering, you can type that into the chat right now. That way those participants that are here who would like to maybe work further with you can have a way to access you. So for those that don't know me, I'm going to type in the best way to get a hold of me, which is through text. If you are wanting a session, a private session, a channeling session of transformation, know that my sessions usually contain transmissions of light, and they also contain clarity for you and lots of deep healing down to the origin of where the problem was. So just know that that is available for you, along with these other amazing practitioners who are able to truly help you heal at deeper levels that maybe you weren't able to before. Gwendolyn, did you want to share something?
Just acknowledging the deep state we're in. If you want to, under where your chat, there's an option in the bottom that says save chat in the bottom of the chat. So if you do save chat, then when you get off the computer, you'll have the chat saved on your computer with the information. Plus, this will be in the recording that Linda's doing.
Thank you, Gwendolyn, for sharing that. I completely forgot about that. Makes it a lot easier. Beautiful. Well, I want to say thank you to everyone. Have a beautiful, deep, blessed sleep filled with so much peace. I love you all. Thank you, and we will gather again very soon. Blessings. Mwah.